Hello, little Bob. I see you brought a friend. Whoa, why so angry? Would you mind standing still for a second? Let's talk this through. Excuse me, Spider. Oh dear, this is not going as planned. Help! Hello everyone, my name is Graham and welcome back to my Minecraft tutorial series. This is episode 7 and as you can see from the preview, we are covering Minecraft Combat today. Off camera I built us a small battle arena for all our demonstrations today. I've also managed to wrangle together a few volunteers. They were slightly hesitant at first, but I was very convincing. Let's walk and talk and I'll show you where all the action's going to happen. So I found a little spot over there where I built the combat training arena. So let's talk weapons. In this version of Minecraft, you get 4 types of weapons. The sword, bow, crossbow, and trident. You also get 1 defensive item, a shield. When I upgrade this world to the latest version, we'll cover the mace as well. So here we are. I have a selection of hostile mobs inside that building. As skeletons and zombies burn up in direct sunlight, I added lots of light here so we can record this in the dark of night with ease. As we crafted the shield before, let's cover that first. It's used for blocking attacks and can only be used in the offhand slot. To block attacks, simply press the right mouse button. You can block while standing or crouching. And note that while you're blocking, it does reduce your movement speed. For the first demonstration, I'll be blocking a spider attack. I'll also remove my armor so we can see the amount of damage I take when I don't block. Let's do this. Oh, volunteer, where are you? Don't be shy now. We spoke about this. It's all for educational purposes. Spiders only attack when they get line of sight. So while blocking with a shield, I don't take any damage. My heart's above the toolbar and staying full. The blocking effect only works for your field of view. Basically whatever you see on the screen. As soon as I turn too far to the side, the spider manages to hit me. That hit took 1 heart of damage. The amount of damage a hostile mob does is dependent on your world's difficulty setting. You can find the exact details on the Minecraft wiki. I'll add a link to that in the description of this video. Now to kill the spider, we require a few well-timed strikes with our sword. To make a strike, simply left-click the mouse button. Easy as that. When you kill a mob, it often drops items. In this case, it dropped a spider eye and some string. I'll cover mob drops in more detail in a future video. Let's suit up again for the next demo. Something else to point out? When you use your weapon, there's a short cooldown delay before the weapon will do full damage again. This can be seen by the small animation below the crosshair. Speaking of the crosshair, it has another handy feature. When the mob gets in range for you to attack it, the crosshair shows a little sword and plus symbol underneath. Let's use our second volunteer to demonstrate this. If you look at the zoom camera, you can see the attack indicator appears as soon as the zombie is within our striking range. Let's show this one more time without the zoom camera. Striking while he's far away does nothing as expected. When he's in range, that's another story. And our iron sword takes care of the zombie in no time. Speaking of swords, let's quickly craft a stone sword so we can compare it to the iron one we've been using. With advanced tooltips enabled, we can see the stone sword does 5 attack damage. The iron sword on the other hand does 6 attack damage, so slightly better. Both swords have the same attack speed though. Also you have to remember the iron sword will last longer than the stone one. With our third volunteer, I want to demonstrate critical hits. If done correctly, you'll see little star particles appear and the strike sound is slightly different. To achieve this, you have to be falling while striking the mob. So all I did there was jump, and when I started to fall, I striked. Critical hits give you 50% more attack damage, so well worth practicing that one. Next we'll move on to ranged weapons, so we can attack from a distance away. While we wait for nightfall, let's go over how to craft these new weapons. For a bow you need 3 sticks and 3 string. And as you've seen earlier, one possible way to get string is from killing spiders. A bow is pretty useless without arrows, and to craft those we require feathers, sticks and flint can be found by digging in gravel. So it's flint on the top, sticks in the middle and a feather at the bottom. That will yield 4 arrows, which is a pretty good return. To use a bow you need to keep the right mouse button in and this will draw the bow. Once the bow starts shaking, it's fully drawn. Then simply let the button go and the arrow is sent on its way. A useful tip for early game: your arrows that don't hit a mob can be collected again, something to keep in mind. Also, if you shoot a bow that isn't fully drawn, then it does less damage and the arrow doesn't fly as far. Firing a fully drawn bow, particles should appear as the arrow flies through the air. Just like tools, weapons also degrade as you use them. Just something else to keep in mind when you go into battle. Enough practice. Let's see this bow in action. Bullseye! And we received another advancement. Oh, now we made him angry, so we better finish him off. Easy peasy. Oh, and that chime you just heard? That's us moving to the next experience level. Experience points are shown in the middle of your hotbar. As you collect experience, this bar turns green. If it reaches the end, you hear that chime and your points increase. Experience points can be earned in many ways while playing the game. Later we'll be able to spend that experience at an enchantment table where we can enchant our tools, weapons or armor. And if you happen to die, which can happen so easily, it will unfortunately reset your experience to 0. Moving on, the next ranged weapon I want to talk about is a crossbow. It's a bit more complicated to craft as it needs more components. First we need a tripwire hook, which we can get from chest loot or we can craft one. And the crossbow recipe is as follows. It requires 3 sticks, 1 iron ingot, 2 string, and a single tripwire hook. What makes the crossbow special is that it can shoot arrows or fireworks. Now that sounds exciting. To load the crossbow, simply keep the mouse button down and tap to shoot. Now the next combat tip is very useful while we don't have enchanted gear yet. It's called the knockback effect. Even without enchantments, it's still possible to achieve. All you have to do is sprint towards the mob and strike while sprinting. It will send the mob flying backwards. It's especially useful against creepers that explode in close proximity. Now that we have a good understanding of Minecraft combat, let's go practice everything we've learned so far. Glancing at my hotbar, I can see we still have plenty of durability on our weapons and shield. Also very important, we have plenty of food to help us heal back up, which we're definitely going to need. So we are looking for a dark area and preferably easy terrain to traverse. Ooh, there's our first victim. That's called a creeper. They sizzle and explode as soon as they get close to you. Oh dear, he has a skeleton friend. The creeper does more damage, so let's concentrate on killing him first. I'll try and do knockback attacks so we can prevent him from exploding. That skeleton is pretty accurate, I must give him that. There we go, 1 down. Now for the skeleton. Luckily our armor absorbed most of the skeleton attacks. So now it's a combination of blocking the arrows or trying to dodge them if we can, then go in for the strike. Success! We managed to get 1 critical hit in there too. Oh, and if you were wondering, you can't collect the arrows that a skeleton shoots. The game doesn't work that way. We've got a few arrows, so let's try and get that zombie from a far distance away. The arrows fly in an arc, so it does take a bit of practice to get accurate. And it doesn't help that they keep moving. That's it. Too many misses. Let's go in for some close combat, and then I can collect my arrows, as I don't have that many. Wow, now it's 3 against 1. That's hardly fair. And to make matters worse, you can't do critical hits while in water. Job done. And I'll take those arrows, thank you. Ah, a lonely creeper. Let's try that knockback attack again. Yikes! And that's another reason you don't want creepers to explode. They make quite the mess. Oh no, that's a baby zombie. By far the toughest mob in the game to hit. Hello, little Bob. I see you brought a friend. Whoa, why so angry? Would you mind standing still for a second? Let's talk this through. Excuse me, Spider. Oh dear, this is not going as planned. Help! Oh wow, my health is low. Just some mild panic. Let's get our aim right this time. Gotcha! And again. 1 down. Finally! Those babies are small and so fast. They are a nightmare to fight. Time for a quick snack so my health can regen. Nice! 3 crits in a row. That was a bit much. It sure got my heart racing there. I'm still having fun though. So a few more, and then we can call it a night. Not too bad for a night out. Let's head back to the training camp as there's one more thing I want to show you. This part requires no armor. Let's find out what happens if you die. It's not as bad as you might think. Yes, I'll lose all my 27 experience levels and my items will drop on the ground. The good news is that if you know where you died, you can often retrieve your items and a small portion of your experience. So when you kick the bucket, you respawn in the last bed you slept in. If that bed doesn't exist, then you'll respawn in the area where you started this world at, called the world spawn. And here we go. That's it. Itchy Boots was slain by a zombie. So this is the famous death screen everybody dreads. We have two options here. We can respawn or quit to the title screen. For now, I'll choose the respawn option. And we are back in our cozy cottage where I slept last. And as you can see, no items in my inventory and no experience points. Let's head back and see how it looks. Our first death location. I always find it funny that your inventory scatters all over the place. And between all the items, you can see there are some experience orbs. So let's go around and collect everything. Wow, it's scattered everywhere. There, that looks like all of it. So now we can suit back up again. And as you can see, our armor has taken quite a beating during the night. So we might have to repair that soon. Oh, and we got 7 experience points back. For that, I think this is everything for this episode. In the next episode, I think I would like to work on some sustainable food supply, so we can continue our adventures further out. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, then maybe consider liking this episode and even dropping a comment. It would really mean a lot to me. And feel free to subscribe so you don't miss any future content. My name is Graham, and thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.